the Dabs Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the first day of a new journey. Today, I am starting my podcast with a new name. I'm renaming and rebranding. I'm going from the Dabs Podcast to the Culture Corner Podcast. And that's going to be the name starting from today. And the reason I'm doing that, main reason is because I want the name to represent what I want for this podcast and what the future, I hope, is for it, which is a safe space where there can be plenty of conversation, anything that is happening around the culture, anything sports related, anything tech related, anything finance related, anything that has to do with the culture, growing the culture, representing the culture, uplifting the culture. That's what I want on this channel, and that's what I want this podcast to be, and that's what I want it to be a vehicle for. Dabs Podcast. Dabs means a lot to me. For those of you guys that know me, know exactly what Dabs is and who Dabs is. And it's basically the crew, myself and my friends that we created in our 20s to have a safe space for us, to have a safe space to be ourselves, and to have that community that we needed growing up and be that for each other. And I'm very proud that 20 plus years later, the crew is still in full effect. And we still definitely are family. We'll always be family. But this podcast is not really about Dabs per se. It's more about, myself and what I want to give to y'all, really, and to my audience. So I hope you guys support me through the rebrand, through the name change. And I just want to say thank you for still rocking with me. Please share this news, share this video with your friends, with your circle. And help me get up to even more subscribers, more likes, and all of that good jazz. So please share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and watch all my other videos. I always look forward to the feedback. I always look forward to the comments from you guys about these videos. It really helps me be able to work on my craft and be able to make sure that I continue to improve to make this channel something that you guys want to come back to and something worth checking out the content. So with all that being said, let's go right into the first topic of my video. So, for those of you guys, who know me, I am a Tupac aficionado. I love Tupac. I always have, ever since I was a young buck. His music, his poetry, his story, spoke to me, and it's just been such a pleasure, and such a sadness that 27 years has passed since he was murdered in Las Vegas. And just recently, last week, somebody was arrested for his murder. And I shouldn't say for orchestrating his murder, pretty much. He's not being accused of being the trigger man, but he's been accused of the one who set it up, which we're going to dive into all the details, who this guy is, what they're alleging, and what he has said in his own words. So let's go and start breaking it all down. So September 7th, you guys already know, 1996 in Las Vegas, Pac was shot in a drive-through shooting. He died 6 days later on September 13th. September 29th, 2023, so almost 27 years to the day, Las Vegas police finally arrested a suspect named Duane Keffe D. Davis. Keffe D, who is now 60 years old. And what are they charging him with? They're charging him with 1 count of murder by using a deadly weapon. The prosecutor in Las Vegas described Davis as a once well-known gang member, gang leader for the Southside Crips, who ordered Tupac's hit. And what do we know about Keffe D? Right? What do we know? We know that he was a prominent member of the Southside Crips. We know that he was friends with Eazy-E, rest in peace, and we also know that he used to be friends with P. Diddy. Don't know if he's still connected, but with the rumors surrounding P. Diddy, probably not. But in 2019, Duane Davis, that's his real name, released an autobiography called Compton Street Legend. And in that, he admitted that he was in the car, in the Cadillac, that contained the person that shot Tupac and killed him. He said a lot in this autobiography, and I'm going to share with you a couple of things that he said, a couple of snippets that he said, because I found them interesting. Like, wow. Because this is in 2019, and these statements and what he said are part of the reason why the investigation kind of got reinvigorated, and why he's now in prison. Kind of similar to what, not really, but kind of what happened with the comedian that was joking about Bill Cosby, Hannibal Buress, I believe, in stand up. And, a couple of jokes in, it started to not be funny anymore. And people were like, well, did Bill Cosby do this? And that started the whole Bill Cosby thing. So, very similar to that, this guy's words are going to come back to haunt him, as they always do. So, in his book, he said that there was $1 million bounty on Tupac and Biggie's heads at that time. Which, if you guys remember back in the 90s, Tupac and Biggie were it. And that whole East Coast, West Coast crap, I fully believe that was something that the media really took and ran with it, because it sold records and it sold magazines, and that's all they cared about at the time. And I think that really basically put Biggie and Pac in a position where the people around them, the people that really, really live that life that they were talking about, it was just like a what do you call it? Collision course that was bound to happen, and that both of them were just bound to be casualties of war, sacrificed by their own sets. I wouldn't be or by their own people. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But back to what he said, that's what he said. There was $1 million bounty on both these guys' heads, and that, according to him, this is his words, that he was a gangster, and that he lived his life as a gangster, and a real gangster did all the shit that real gangsters do. So, read between the lines, And it's crazy because throughout all the years, I have all the videos of people trying to explain Pac's death, and people trying to spit out their theories. And when I read this article and was gathering the information for the story, I was just kind of like, wow, like all these elaborate theories and all these what ifs and what happened, and was Biggie involved, was in Pac's death, was P. Diddy involved in both their death. And it might have just really been some basic street shit, just like what happened with Nipsey. Like, the code of the streets is to be followed, and unfortunately it don't matter if you're Pac or Biggie, you're just a casualty of those rules. At least that's what this guy's saying, and as far as what everyone else's mindset was when it came to the gang shit and the street shit with these two dudes. He gloated that he knew the real story. He said that Tupac jumping his nephew, who was Orlando Anderson, gave him the green light to do what he needed to do and order what he needed to order as far as Tupac getting murdered. He said that Tupac played a game that he had no business playing, and that's why he lost his life. And it's crazy to think about that. I've always thought, that the attack on Orlando Anderson, I believe in the MGM Grand Casino, was the catalyst for Pac's murder. I've always thought that, and I know a lot of people who agree with that. Once you do that, it's we all know the code of streets. If you jump somebody and they're in a gang, the gang's gonna come after, and it doesn't matter who you are. That's what they're gonna do. Draco the Ruler is the same shit. Like, it's just so many examples of rappers getting caught up in the street life and becoming casualties of that shit. And it just so happened to be that the person that this guy killed was the GOAT. So Orlando Anderson's uncle is this guy, Dwayne Davis. So that's the connection. And we all know that Anderson was a member of the Southside Crips as well. So what are they saying Dwayne Davis did? So Dwayne Davis pretty much was a shot caller who willed Tupac's death by counseling, encouraging, hiring, commanding, and otherwise procuring the others to commit the crime. He was a shot caller. He ordered the hit. He was there with the hit. And it is of my opinion, and opinion only, that Anderson did it. Even though he denied this before he got shot in 98. So he only lived 2 years after Pac did, because he got shot in 1998 in a gang shooting. Orlando Anderson. And he was interviewed by the cops once, and he denied it. Of course, why would he admit it? He's gangsters don't snitch. That's always been the code of the streets. But Anderson died in 1998, and he always denied killing Pac. Interesting to note, like I said, he was only interviewed one time. And I know the Las Vegas police has been criticized a lot in this investigation. And in the press conference that they gave, spilling out these details of the arrest, they're claiming that this has always been a high priority case for them, that this is something that they've always been working. Many of the cops now that investigated Pac's death, they're not retired. I mean, 27 years is a long time. So they kind of were pounding their chest a little bit and basically letting the public know that this was something that was important to them, and that's why they solved it, and they never forgot about it. I don't know what to say about that, Another interesting fact is that Duane Davis's arrest comes 2 months after cops raided his wife's house, because I felt that there was a lot of evidence there that linked Duane Davis to the murder of Pac. So 2 months after they raided his wife's house and confiscated computers, books, guns, magazines, all kinds of stuff, then they arrest this guy while he's walking around in Nevada, where he lives at. So it's going to be interesting to see how this case develops. It's going to be interesting to see the evidence that comes out, the statements that come out. And, it's sad that not only is Pac dead, but Afeni's dead as well. So she will not be able to see the justice be done, if justice is done, for her son. After all the years that she waited and she hoped for that in her lifetime. So she's in heaven with Pac now, and they both get to look down on this and see if it gets solved and see if justice gets served for Pac's family at the end of the day. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's too late? Are you guys happy that somebody finally got arrested for perpetrating the murder of Pac? And do you think that this guy was a shooter? I mean, they're not alleging he was a shooter, so I doubt he was a shooter. I think it's common knowledge. Another Las Vegas retired detective put out a book. I didn't get his name, and basically called Orlando Anderson the shooter. And I just think that's just the most logic. Interesting to note, Pac's ex-bodyguard, I forgot his first name. Something Alexander. I forgot his name. I have his movie. And he kind of alludes to it being an inside job from Suge's perspective, that Suge had something to do with Pac's murder. And it's interesting to read his take and to hear his take on it. Somebody from the outside, or from the inside looking out, who had inside knowledge and inside dealings of the clique and the crew. And, it's crazy that this came out now, and just to know what he said on video about how, there was some rule changes that night. And there were some things that went down with Suge and Pac that wasn't normal, that they wouldn't let him carry a gun into the club, and that he's always been allowed to carry his guns when he's doing his job as a bodyguard. So that was kind of like, what? So it's like, man, this thing's like shrouded in all this mystery and all this who done it, who coulda, woulda, shoulda, did this person do it, did that person do it, was it an inside job, was it like, what happened? So who knows? Hopefully this case and this arrest brings about a lot of good information and good evidence to really just solve the case, and that way the family can move on, and at the end of the day, we as people get an answer. Because I mean, for those of us who have been waiting for almost 30 years, I'm 37, so Pac died when I was 10, and it would be great to have this mystery solved. So thank you guys. I appreciate you checking out this video, especially if you stayed all the way through. Thank you to the real ones. Like I said, I appreciate your support. Thank you for rocking with me. And welcome to the Culture Corner podcast. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for coming back. And I'll see you in the next video. Please let me know what you think. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this with your friends. Thank you so much. See you later.